order. I'm going to ask our executive director to please take the roll.
Chairwoman Hill Evans.
Here.
Representative Boyd.
Designation.
Representative Brennan. Tommy. Representative Gurgley.
Designation.
Representative Genst. Representative Howard.
Here.
But designation. Where's?
Howard, she's here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Great. Representative Kenyatta.
Designation.
Representative Probst.
By designation.
Representative Sanchez. Representative Schusterman.
Designation. She's actually
Actually,
with us
here online,
Here
my
online,
schedule
yes.
changed.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Mhm.
Rep Siegel.
Designation.
Rep Waxman. Rep Webster.
Here.
And Rep Young. Chairman Roy.
Here.
Representative Bonta. Here. Representative Barton.
By designation.
Representative Bonner. Representative Devanzo. Representative Fink. Representative Kiefer. Representative Miller. Representative Schemmel.
By designation.
Representative Schmidt.
By designation.
And Representative Stats. We have a quorum.
Thank you. So I would like to say that we have the room only until 11:05. We do have a quite a lengthy agenda, so I would ask members to please keep their comments to a minimum as much as possible. And thank you for that consideration. And we're going to move to the first item on the agenda. We will consider House Bill 1630 by Representative Smith Wade L. Is there a motion to bring the bill up for discussion by Representative Genst, second by Representative Webster? Nick?
House Bill 1630 by Representative Smith Wade L. establishes the Office of New Pennsylvanians and provides for its powers and duties. It also establishes the advisory committee to the Office of New Pennsylvanians and provides for its powers and duties.
There is an amendment to the bill, and I am bringing the bill up, the amendment up for discussion. Nick?
A04425 by Chairwoman Hill Evans adds the following to the bill. Adds a section for administrative services and staff to make clear that DCED will be required to provide administrative services and staff to the Office of New Pennsylvanians, including counsel and legal staff, and they would have to be reimbursed by the Office of New Pennsylvanians for the costs and expenses of providing that administrative services and staff. It provides for powers and duties of the office and removes from certain requirements from their powers and duties in terms of communication with certain federal stakeholders. It provides that a restricted account would be established as a restricted account in the general fund, and that money appropriated by this General Assembly for that office would be deposited in that restricted account. Provides that an advisory committee would be established and adds a member to it from the Pennsylvania Manufacturers Association and removes an advisory committee member from a refugee resettlement agency. And it would make the several laws applicable to the office and the advisory council: the State Adverse Interest Act, the Right to Know Law, the Sunshine Act, and the Public Official and Employee Ethics Act.
Thank you, Nick. And I made the motion for that to come forward, and that was seconded by Representative Sanchez. Okay, are there any comments or questions on the amendment? Hearing none, are there any negative votes on the amendment? Okay, seeing none, Amendment A04425 passes out of committee. And now we'll go to the bill itself. And that's House Bill 1630 by Representative Smith Wade L. And I see he is here with us.
Members of the committee, thank you.
Thank you. Perfect timing. Floor is all yours.
Oh, fantastic. Hey, again, good morning, chairs, members of the committee. Forgive my tardiness. Something got stopped up on 283. On the other hand, Brett Miller always makes it here on time, so I don't know what my problem is. No, so our bill, the Office of New Pennsylvanians, is pretty straightforward, and I won't take up too much of your time. The goal of the legislation is to provide a central hub through which the Commonwealth will provide services, manage the affairs of, and support business industries that largely employ new Pennsylvanians, folks who are coming to Pennsylvania for the first time from out of the country. We know from decades of research that they are valuable members of our community, that they provide a significant economic benefit to the Commonwealth and certainly to the county that I come from, which is Lancaster. We actually have a couple Lancastrians seated here behind me, whom I did not coordinate with. Thanks for coming up, guys. And so having this office within the administration will help us to make sure that we can manage their affairs and maximize the economic benefit to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. You've been through the amendment already with Nick, and I think that amendment, first of all, thank you for offering it, Madam Chairwoman. And I think that that amendment addresses some issues within the legislation, makes clear what it is and what we are not doing, making sure we, comply with our other priorities, and make sure that we include in our planning for this office the industries who are going to be primarily affected by those individuals who are coming to Pennsylvania from out of country for the first time. Feel like I repeated myself there, but thank you for the opportunity to speak. I respectfully request a yes vote. Thank you.
Thank you. And I will just mention that we did just get an update from the PA Chamber of Business and Industry that they are in support of this bill. Just thought I would mention that. Okay,
Thank you.
So are there any questions, comments on the bill itself? Chair Roy.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. The makeup of this advisory committee, or whatever it's called, there's no legislative appointments. Almost all authorities, boards, commissions, advisory committees, there's about 500 of them in Pennsylvania. A lot of times the Speaker of the House, the Minority Leader, the Pro Tem, the Minority Leader over there have appointments. I don't see that on here. Secondly, the budget proposal the governor introduced spends about $3.5 billion more than we're going to take in. This would add at least another $300,000 if they try to do this with 3 staffers. It could easily grow. Most things grow very quickly in government. But the most important reason that I oppose the legislation is we do not want to give the impression that we are welcoming illegal aliens. Although it may be the intent of the legislation to deal with legal immigrants, everyone knows how these things work, and some states have made it very appealing to come to their states by saying, hey, if you're one of the 10 million people that came over illegally across the Mexican border, we'll give you housing, we'll give you food, we'll help you find, all this thing. We don't want that. We want orderly immigration of people that pass all the background checks, that are properly vetted, that come here, they have good jobs lined up, being engineers and doctors and things like that. We don't want to make it look like Pennsylvania wants all these illegal aliens. So I am going to be voting no on the legislation, and I urge the members to vote no.
Representative Webster?
Yes, thanks. Thank you, Madam Chair. I actually have a question for the maker of the bill, if I could, because we just heard all of this concern about how this could somehow be used in different ways. Can you explain a little bit of how we do it today? And I guess what I'm waiting for is the concerns that the minority chair just mentioned. This is actually a process that would actually create a semblance of control and acknowledgement of those who are coming here specifically for, work and legal pathways and all of those things. So could you talk a little bit about how it is today and what this would accomplish directly?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy to, and thank you for the question, Representative Webster. Well, I have the utmost respect for the chair and for the chair's concerns. That is actually exactly why this bill is in front of the committee today. Rather than having folks like my neighbors behind me or any number of new Pennsylvanians from any number of communities ping-ponging across departments within the Commonwealth for various approvals or having things happen over in DSED, having other things happen in human services. We wanted to have an office that would coordinate that to make sure that those folks who are coming over here, that are working, that are starting businesses, becoming integral members of our community, know where it is that they can reach out to. And what we need to do is we need to bring our immigrant communities as much as possible into the heart of the Commonwealth and into the heart of our processes, because that's how we make sure that we have the orderly immigration that indeed we want. When we look, for example, at the people in the Commonwealth who do the work on our mushroom farms, who do the work, many of the work for members of the Timber Products Association, when we look at the Pennsylvania service industry, but also in Lancaster, the folks who start new businesses, a fantastic business in my district, TELUS 360, was started by a couple of Irish immigrants. And we take all kinds, and they do. As the chairman mentioned, they come here with degrees and skills and experience. I'll close by saying this, Representative, and thank you. I spoke to a class of nursing students at Millersville University in the 49th District. Half of those nursing students, half of them, come from countries in Latin America where they were doctors. We need more doctors in the Commonwealth. We need people who have knowledge and are willing to work to keep our folks healthy, but they have to jump through so many hoops, everywhere from immigration to licensure, and that we make that challenging, that we make folks work for that, that's fine. But the least that we can do for folks that want to start businesses, be engineers, be doctors, make sure that our restaurants work, that we have the lumber that we need, is make it a little easier to come to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania in an orderly and legal fashion, and that's what this bill attempts to do. I'll step off my soapbox now.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I do want to recognize that we've been joined by Representative Siegel, and with that, Representative Kiefer.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I couldn't agree with the maker more as far as we don't make it easy for anyone actually to start any kind of business or just navigate any part of government. We are very, very challenging in the Commonwealth with about 160,000 regulations, and then that doesn't even touch any of our licensing and permitting. But my concern with this is that usually you are acclimating to a community, and there are a wealth of community services. So from your local development centers to your local chambers to your community resources you have, they're different in each community. We start there, and we have a lot of resources there. There's the Microenterprise Institute, if they're looking for that kind of really small businesses, SBDCs. We have a lot that's already out there, and our budget is just busting at the seams. We don't know where the revenues are going to be coming from because everything we have is one-time spending. We have so much a significant structural deficit that's built into there that we still have not acknowledged. I implore us to look at the programs we already have, incorporate these services that are needed into something that we already have within the Commonwealth. We cannot continue to do one program after the next program because they never go away and they always grow and grow. And then you have other programs that are legitimately needed that are, really fighting for resources to just exist and operate within the Commonwealth. So I would ask us to look back at the community level and look at what we already have before we move forward with yet another program. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Representative Waxman.
Good morning, and thank you so much for the opportunity to speak. I just want to go, on the record as someone who is strongly in favor of immigration to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. I think it's a tremendous asset for the Commonwealth. And on a personal note, my family fled Odessa in the late 1800s, and they landed as immigrants, as Jewish immigrants in South Philadelphia, and were able to build a life for themselves and able to participate and build businesses and a community in South Philly that grew and grew and grew. And so for me, I want to mention that because I'm incredibly grateful to the immigrant communities that have basically saved an important commercial corridor in my district. I represent parts of South Philadelphia, including the Italian market on 9th Street. And the Italian market a few years ago was floundering and really having a difficult time attracting businesses, keeping things running, customers. And over the years, immigrants from Mexico and also from other parts of Latin America turned the Italian market into their own. And I was just meeting with the Mexican Business Association just earlier this last week, and have really taken a commercial corridor that was struggling in my district, started businesses, built a community, and really revitalized the neighborhood. And I just want to encourage people, if that's happening in my district, there's no district that can't benefit from that kind of economic activity. And so I just really want to encourage us, just to look at these as an economic development tool for the Commonwealth and people who are coming and contributing and making life better here. And so I am really, really excited to support this bill, just as I am excited to support any efforts that will bring legal immigration to Pennsylvania and help I've seen the benefits firsthand in my own district, and I'm excited for the rest of the Commonwealth to continue to benefit as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Bonner.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just had two questions for the good maker of the bill. My first question is, do we know how many legal immigrants come into Pennsylvania annually and reside in our state?
I don't know. You asked about legal immigrants,
Yes, I
correct?
did.
I don't know about the number of legal immigrants who reside off top. I think the best number I would have would be from 2 years ago, but I'd be happy to get that for you. Actually, if you don't mind me being
Sure.
rude, I'll get it for you as you move to your second question.
I'll wait on your answer. Thank you.
Thank you so much. With the chairwoman's permission, of course.
Don't quote me, Rep, but I believe it's 65,000 annually, and without that, we'd have a negative replacement rate in Pennsylvania.
Thank you. My second question is, do we have even an estimate as to how many immigrants are coming into the United States illegally and then reside in Pennsylvania without proper authorization?
I myself am happy to try and get back to you on that, but since the bill doesn't address illegal immigration and just provides services to legal immigrants already here, I don't have that information.
Right. I think knowing the number that may be coming into Pennsylvania would help us decide whether to support the creation of additional bureaucracy as to how many may actually be in the state and how many actually may be in need. So thank you.
Thank you, Representative. I'm sorry, that's not my prerogative.
Okay. Are there any other questions or comments on the bill as amended? Chair Roy.
Yes, one brief question. Where does the bill specifically say illegal aliens cannot be helped by any of this stuff and they're not welcome, and this is only dealing with legal immigrants? Where does the bill say that someplace?
So the bill only addresses providing services that are available within the state to immigrants who are here within the state, and those services are only available to legal immigrants, sir. So this would simply be a clearinghouse to provide essentially social work services, take a service that's available and match it up to a person who has a need, who's here legally within the Commonwealth. So the bill doesn't need to address and doesn't address illegal versus legal immigration. It simply mentions immigrants and providing them with meaningful access to state services. But there's no reason to mention illegal immigrants because the bill doesn't need to do that. It doesn't involve illegal immigration whatsoever.
Well, thank you for that explanation. In many, many other states, illegal aliens are just overrunning things, entire cities, entire states, and I'm still uncomfortable that this does not specifically, tell them we don't want them. We want the legal ones, not the illegal ones. So I'm going to be a no. Thank you.
Okay. Are there any other comments or questions about House Bill 1630 as amended? Nick, would you please call for the vote?
Chairwoman Hill Evans,
Yes.
Representative Boyd,
Yes, designation.
Representative Brennan, Representative Gergely,
Yes, designation.
Representative Genst, Representative Howard,
Yes.
Representative Kenyatta,
Yes, designation.
Representative Probst,
Yes, designation.
Representative Sanchez, Representative Schusterman,
Yes, designation.
Representative Siegel, Representative Waxman,
Yes.
Representative Webster,
Yes.
Representative Young, Chairman Roy,
No.
Representative Bonta, Representative Barton,
No by designation.
Representative Bonner, Representative Devanzo, Representative Fink, Representative Kiefer, Representative Miller, Representative Schemmel,
No by designation.
Representative Schmidt,
No by designation.
and Representative Stats.
No.
The ayes have it, 14 to 11.
Okay.
Yes, on the record, I was here. I was unable to unmute my microphone. So thank you.
Quite all right,
Rep
Rep.
Schusterman.
The
Thank you.
virtual attendees are here by designation anyway, so
Yes.
it's quite all right.
We have you. Thank you. Okay, so that said, thank you for that. House Bill 1630 passes out of State Government Committee. Thank you for being here, Representative Smith-Waddell. Good luck.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman, and I want to thank my Republican colleagues as well. I appreciate your feedback. This is how the work gets done. Thank you.
Oh, Madam Chair, just for the record, it would be the House Bill 1630 passed as amended. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Next on the agenda, we have House Bill 2216 by Representative Briggs. We are joined by Representative Briggs, if you'd like to come. And then Nick, if you would give us a summary, please.
House Bill 2216 by Representative Briggs authorizes DGS, the Department of General Services, on behalf of the Commonwealth and with the approval of the Governor, the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources, and the Executive Director of the PHMC to quitclaim and release to the United States of America any right, title, or interest it may have with respect to certain use restrictions and related reversionary interests related to a certain portion of Valley Forge National Historic Park in Upper Marion.
And bringing this up for discussion is moved by Representative Waxman, second by Representative Young. Okay, Representative Briggs.
Thank you, Chair Hill Evans, for bringing this up for discussion today, and thank you, Representative Roy. Representative Webster, Schusterman, and I represent Valley Forge National Historical Park in its entirety. And the portion that we're discussing today is in my district, and I was contacted by the Department of General Services and PennDOT regarding improvements on Gulf Road, which is the road right between Route 422 and the entrance of Valley Forge Park, with plans to realign Gulf Road to make a greater appealing entranceway into the park. So the history of it is, used to be a state park. 1976, for the bicentennial, the state gifted, I think, 2,400 acres to the national government to create Valley Forge National Historical Park. Part of it has reversionary interests, quit claims, and all that legalese language that Nick loves. So to do the work, it actually has to be reverted back to the state to allow them to do the PennDOT work, and it wouldn't risk losing the integrity of the entire transfer. So if you could all support it, I would appreciate it.
Thank you, Chair. Are there any comments or questions on House Bill 2216? Okay, seeing none, are there any negative votes on House Bill 2216? Okay, seeing none, House Bill 2216 passes successfully out of House State Government.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, members, for your
Thank you for
support.
being with us. Okay, next is House Bill 2308 by Representative Freeman. I have a motion by Representative Siegel, second by Representative Howard, to bring it up for a discussion. Welcome, Representative Chair Freeman.
My thanks to Chair Hill Evans and Chair Rohrer and all members of the committee for bringing my legislation up for consideration today. Let me give you a brief overview unless Nick wants to go over the review. I'm not trying to take your job, I swear. Huh? Okay. House Bill 2308 would establish the position of PA or Pennsylvania laureate, poet laureate. Currently, the United States and 47 states celebrate the literary and poetic arts by appointing a poet as an official poet laureate. Only Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, and New Jersey do not have such a position. Governor Casey appointed Dr. Samuel Hozo, who was poet laureate in 1993. However, the position was by executive order and it lapsed at the end of the governor's term. The duties would be to read poetry at official functions, such as the governor's inauguration, meetings of the joint session of the legislature at the start of its biannual session, or other special state occasions that might occur. House Bill 2308 has a selection process. There would be a committee of 5 individuals: the Secretary of Education, the Chairman of the Pennsylvania Council of the Arts, the State Librarian, a representative of a nonprofit with a mission to promote the humanities, and a representative of a college or a university department of English. That would be picked. Those last 2 positions would be picked by the governor. They would come up with a list of no more than 3 candidates for the position of poet laureate, and that would be submitted to the governor for his approval to select one of the 3. As I mentioned, the duties are basically to read poetry at official events such as the governor's inauguration. It's an unpaid position. They would be compensated for expenses such as travel in the performance of their duties, and it serves a 2-year term. Basically, it celebrates Pennsylvania's literary and artistic aspects, as well as our cultural heritage. Examining poetry helps individuals learn about our history and our heritage, and to highlight cultural events and cultural aspects of Pennsylvania. The idea actually came from a constituent, Helen Behe, who is a Lower Saucon Township resident in Northampton County, and graduated from DeSales University with a master's in fine arts in the major of creative writing. So I'd be happy to answer any questions and welcome your support for the legislation.
Okay, we will first go to Chair Roy.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. And this legislation, I just don't think it's necessary. You know, the budget proposal by the Governor Shapiro spends about $3.5 billion more than we're going to take in, even though this would have a relatively low cost just for reimbursement of expenses and stuff. We can't afford to do that. Pennsylvania already has about 500 authorities, boards, commissions, advisory committees, things like that. We don't need one more. And then one thing that is kind of weird about the bill, it would it would mandate by law that the poet laureate gives a speech at the governor's inauguration. It would only have the poet laureate give a speech at our swearing-in ceremony if the speaker specifically requests that. But it's just kind of weird that an outgoing governor will have picked all the members of the committee that picked the poet, and then the incoming governor, would have to sit there and listen to a poem by a poet laureate the outgoing governor appointed. There's nothing in existing law that would ban a governor-elect from having somebody. If any of us in this room became governor someday, we can ask somebody to read a poem at our inauguration. We don't need this. So I just think government is involved in so many different things. I have complete respect for the maker of the bill, a very good legislator sitting there, but I don't agree with this issue, and I'll be voting no. Thank you.
I'll come back. Sure. Are there any other comments or questions on this bill? Representative Webster.
Thanks, Madam Chair. Just 30 seconds. I couldn't resist as a guy with too many college degrees, and one is a master's in English, where I wrote a poetry thesis. which not to be read at anybody's inauguration or anywhere else. The absolute power of language, the ideas that have dramatic consequence in terms of vision for our Commonwealth, it's absolutely time that we think in those terms and that we take Pennsylvania, whether it's poetry or science or economic investment. One thing we can do each step of the way is to let those ideas be broadcast to the people of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania anytime our esteemed governor or other members of this body are in a place where those ideas have impact. And I am 100% in favor of this bill. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments before I go back to the maker for final comments? Chair Freeman?
Oh, thank you, Madam Chair. I couldn't have put it better. Representative Webster really encapsulates why something like this is important and why we should celebrate the arts and our literature, and also highlight significant state occasions, the importance through poetry. I appreciate the gentleman, Mr. Rohr's comments about an incoming governor. I would be happy to entertain an amendment on the floor of the House if he would like to make it an option for the governor rather than require that they read at the inaugural. But I think we're missing an opportunity to really highlight a very important aspect of Pennsylvania's culture. And as was mentioned, there really is very little, if any, cost to the bill. It's merely expenses, traveling expenses and the like. So for those reasons, I would urge the members to please support my legislation.
Thank you. And I do want to acknowledge that Representative Boyd has joined us in person. Are there any other comments or questions around House Bill 2308? Hearing none. Nick, let's take the vote.
Chairwoman Hill Evans,
Yes.
Representative Boyd, Representative Brennan, Representative Gergely,
Yes designation?
Representative Genst, Representative Howard,
Yes.
Representative Kenyatta,
Yes designation?
Representative Probst,
Yes designation?
Representative Sanchez, Representative Schusterman,
Yes designation?
Representative Siegel, Representative Waxman,
Yes.
Representative Webster,
Yes.
and Representative Young. Chairman Roy,
No.
Representative Bonta, Representative Barton,
No by designation.
Representative Bonner, Representative Devanzo, Representative Fink,
No by designation.
Representative Kiefer, Representative Miller,
No by designation.
Representative Schemmel,
No by designation.
Representative Schmidt,
No by designation.
and Representative Stats. The ayes have it, 14 to 11.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Chair Freeman. And House Bill 2308 passes out of House State Government. Next on the agenda, we have House Resolution 339 by Representative Probst.
House Resolution 339 by Representative Probst designates August 19, 2024 as Marion Mundley Day in Pennsylvania.
Thank you. Is Representative Probst with us? No? Okay. All right. Are there any questions or comments on House Resolution 339?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, motion to bring it forward by Representative Boyd and second by Representative Sanchez. Now, are there any comments? Yes. Chair Roy.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. I'll be brief. This committee, we spend a lot of time on these resolutions that don't really do anything. There have been hundreds and hundreds of women that have served in the PA House. So I hope, we're not going to do resolutions for all of them, because we could be here for a while over the course of the rest of the session. I do plan to vote yes. I mean, I don't have anything against the person being honored, but we just spend so much time on these resolutions, and that's about all I'm going to say.
Thank you. Any other comments? Hearing none, let's call for the vote.
Chairwoman Hill Evans,
Yes.
Representative Boyd, Representative Brennan, Representative Gergely,
Yes designation.
Representative Genst, Representative Howard,
Yes.
Representative Kenyatta,
Yes designation.
Representative Probst,
Yes designation.
Representative Sanchez, Representative Schusterman.
Yes, designation.
Representative Siegel. Representative Waxman.
Yes.
Representative Webster.
Yes.
Representative Young. Chairman Roy.
Yes.
Representative Bonta. Representative Barton.
Yes by designation.
Representative Bonner. Representative Devanzo.
Yes by designation.
Representative Fink.
No by designation.
Representative Kiefer. Representative Miller. Representative Schemmel.
Yes by designation.
Representative Schmidt.
Yes by designation.
And Representative Stats. The ayes have it, 24-1.
Thank you. And House Resolution 339 passes out of House State Government. Okay, I need a motion to bring forward House Resolution 398 by Schlossberg. That motion by Representative Young, second by Representative Howard.
H.R. 398 by Representative Schlossberg designates the week of August 5th through 9th as the National Conference of State Legislature, or NCSL Week in Pennsylvania.
Thank you. Are there any comments or questions on House Resolution 398? Okay, hearing none. Are there any negative votes? I know we have one.
Yeah. Thank you, Madam Chair. Representative Fink will be a no by designation.
Representative Fink will be a no by designation. Are there any other noes? All right, seeing none, House Resolution 398 passes out of House State Government. Next on the agenda, we have House Resolution 422 by Representative Benham. A motion to bring that forward for discussion by Representative Waxman, second by Representative Genst.
House Resolution 422 would have the Pennsylvania House of Representatives recognize the month of June 2024 as LGBTQ Pride Month in Pennsylvania.
And we are joined by Representative Benham. Would you like to have a few words?
Thank you, Chairwoman Hill Evans. I just want to speak briefly about how important it is, as celebrations of the month of Pride are occurring throughout the Commonwealth, that we in the Pennsylvania House also recognize what this month means, that it's about fairness and justice and equality, and that as the first out queer woman who was elected to the General Assembly, I could speak for quite some time about personally what that means for me as someone who grew up in a context where being part of this community was not celebrated, not seen, and not understood. But instead, I will just be brief, thank the chairwoman for bringing this resolution up, and thank the members of the committee for their consideration, and ask you all to vote yes.
Thank you. Chair Roy?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, just again on these resolutions, we spend so much time on these. June is already named after many things, and there's other legislative proposals. We recently got another co-sponsorship memo to name June. I think it had something to do with Traffic Safety Month or something like that. But we just have to stop naming all these things. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Any other comments or questions? Okay, seeing none, are there any negative votes?
I believe the Republicans will all be no.
Okay. Call for the vote.
Representative or Chairwoman Hill Evans.
Yes.
Representative Boyd. Representative Brennan. Representative Gergely.
Yes, designation.
Representative Genst. Representative Howard.
Yes.
Representative Kenyatta.
Yes, designation.
Representative Probst.
Yes, designation.
Representative Sanchez. Representative Schusterman.
Yes, designation.
Representative Siegel. Representative Waxman.
Yes.
Representative Webster.
Yes.
Representative Young. Chairman Roy.
No.
Representative Bonta. Representative Barton.
No by designation.
Representative Bonner. Sorry, could you repeat that, sir?
Yes.
Got it. Representative Devanzo.
No by designation.
Representative Fink.
No by designation.
Representative Kiefer. Representative Miller. Representative Schemmel.
No by designation.
Representative Schmidt.
No by designation.
And Representative Stats. The ayes have it, 15-10.
Thank you. And House Resolution 422 passes out of House State Government. Thank you for being with us. Next on the agenda, we have House Resolution 438 by Representative Brennan. A motion to bring that forward by Representative Webster, second by Representative Siegel. Nick?
House Resolution 438 by Representative Brennan directs the Joint State Government Committee to conduct a study and establish an advisory committee to determine the impact on Pennsylvania taxpayers of Pennsylvania State Police full or partial police services for those municipalities that do not maintain full police coverage.
Representative Brennan.
Thank you, Chairwoman. Our number one obligation is to protect the health, safety, and welfare of our residents, and this resolution gives us an opportunity to test how well we're doing it, and also gives us an opportunity to possibly better support our local police and our state police. As a member of the Appropriations Committee, I learned about the long history of the use of the Motor License Fund. We had gotten to the point where we were using almost $1 billion of money for infrastructure to fund the state police. And over the past couple of years, that amount was capped, and then we started to drain down, and the governor proposed draining down even further on that use and using alternative sources. So in this time of change, I think it's important to look at how we're funding our police, make sure we're doing it well. This gives us an opportunity to study that. I don't think it's been studied before. In the 2017 budget process, there was some testimony from the state police about the costs, but it was primarily based on speculation. And I think we're seeing more local police departments disbanding or cutting back. And I think we need to look at how that burdens neighboring local police departments and also our state police, and sort of adjusting to the schedules of local departments. And I think this gives us a chance to make sure that if there's a problem, we're seeing it, and to address these issues. So thank you.
Thank you. Chair Roy?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I oppose the resolution. The concept of the cost of the state police and should local communities be paying, that's been kicked around for many years. In 2021, there was legislation that would make every municipality pay. Even municipalities that maintained a full-time 24/7 police force would have to pay. Just in my legislative district, the municipalities in my district would have paid about $2 million a year, for this state police coverage. So if you look at the budget of the state police, we already know what their budget is. So I'm not sure what it is the study is going to come up with. And I'm concerned it's going to lead to even more spending and making local municipalities pay even more money, and making our taxpayers pay even more. So I oppose the legislation. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Oh, Representative Waxman?
Thank you. Just briefly, I represent Philadelphia County. My taxpayers, we pay for both the Philadelphia Police Department and the State Police Department, and so I am eager to see what this study, finds, because I think, like many taxpayers who pay for both a local police department, also the state police, there's a lot of questions about whether that's fair and what the numbers will show if they're looked at closely. Thank you.
Any other comments? Okay, let's call for a vote on House Resolution 438, please.
Chairwoman Hill Evans,
Yes.
Representative Boyd, Representative Brennan, Representative Gergely,
Designation, yes.
Representative Genst, Representative Howard, Representative Kenyatta,
Designation, yes.
Representative Probst,
Designation, yes.
Representative Sanchez, Representative Schusterman,
Designation, yes.
Representative Siegel, Representative Waxman,
Yes.
Representative Webster,
Yes.
Representative Young, Chairman Roy,
No.
Representative Bonta, Representative Barton,
No by designation.
Representative Bonner, Representative Devanzo,
No by designation.
Representative Fink,
No by designation.
Representative Kiefer, Representative Miller, Representative Schemmel,
No by designation.
Representative Schmidt,
No by designation.
and Representative Stats. The ayes have it, 14 to 11.
Okay, House Resolution 438 passes out of House State Government Committee. Next on the agenda, we have House Resolution 439, Representative O'Mara. to bring that up for discussion, Representative Boyd, second by Representative Genst.
House Resolution 439 by Representative O'Mara urges Congress of the United States to continue its support of Taiwan and commemorates the 45th anniversary of the enactment of the Taiwan Relations Act.
Chair Roy?
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. We do so many of these resolutions. It seems like we just did one for Taiwan a couple months ago. Is this a duplication of that, or was that something different?
That is something different. This calls on Congress to continue its support. That was an unrelated resolution that did relate to Taiwan, but didn't relate to any of the other findings within the resolution.
Okay. I mean, I'm pro-Taiwan, so I'm going to vote for it. But okay, thank you.
Any other comments or concerns? Representative Kiefer.
So my question on this, I know we've done this in the past, but this language seems to be a lot more comprehensive than it has, than I recall us voting on in the past, all of the charges to Congress. Am I incorrect? This is different language, correct?
I believe it is. I believe it is a redraft, but there were some minor changes between the previous redraft. But this is substantially different from any Taiwan resolution we've done in this term.
This term, okay. Yeah, I have some concerns with how in-depth this goes. It's not just a general resolution saying, hey, let's keep our relationship going with Taiwan, which is, I fully support, but this is just really comprehensive in the language. Thank you, Madam Chair.
You're welcome. Any other comments? Okay, let's call for the vote, please.
Chairwoman Hill Evans.
Yes.
Representative Boyd. Representative Brennan. Representative Gergely.
Yes designation.
Representative Genst. Representative Howard.
Yes.
Representative Kenyatta.
Yes designation.
Representative Probst.
Yes designation.
Representative Sanchez. Representative Schusterman.
Yes designation.
Representative Siegel. Representative Waxman. Representative Webster.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry.
Representative Young. Chairman Roy.
Yes.
Representative Bonta. Representative Barton.
Yes by designation.
Representative Bonner. Representative DeVonzo.
Yes by designation.
Representative Fink.
No by designation.
Representative Kiefer. Representative Miller. Representative Schemmel.
Yes by designation.
Representative Schmidt.
Yes by designation.
And Representative Stats. The ayes have it.
Okay, and House Resolution 439 passes out of state government.
No.
And last but not least, we have House Bill, we're going to go back to the bills now, House Bill 1261 by Representative Miller. Could we have a brief description of the bill?
Sure. House Bill 1261 by Representative Miller amends the state and public school employees' retirement codes to expand public access to records of the two statewide pension systems and to require additional reporting of investment performance data, fees, and expenses paid to investment managers and staff travel expenses.
Thank you. Representative Miller?
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you for bringing this bill up. I appreciate it very much, and I would add, I think you saved the best bill for last. So I appreciate that. This bill has been around some time, and it's passed the House several times, passed this committee several times. And basically, if you put this bill into a word, it comes down to transparency. Basically, the bill would require our two state pension systems to make public, to the degree that the bill specifies, the cost going into our alternative investments. Personally, I think that we should know what the costs are so that we are very careful to spend what we need to spend to ensure that we have the investment returns that make our pension system solid, but that not too many are going into money managers' fund or pockets, making our systems weaker. So the bill has provisions, which you all, I'm sure, are aware of, having read the bill, that make sure that the transparency is full and that our pension systems can operate in the General Assembly and the public and our pension beneficiaries know what the fees are so that they can ensure they have a stable and solid retirement in the future. So I would ask for a yes vote, and thank you for your consideration.
Certainly, and bringing this up for discussion is Chair Roy and second by Representative Miller. Are there any comments on House Bill 1261? Okay, hearing none, I will add that I did meet with SERS this morning, and they are in support of the bill. From what I understand, PSERS had one or two amendments that I believe Rep. Miller is willing to address. And other than that, we will call for the vote.
Madam Chair.
Excuse me, one moment.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We may have gotten different information. SERS is neutral? Neutral.
Say, in favor?
Yeah.
SERS is neutral in the bill.
All right, thank you.
Call for the vote, please.
Chairwoman Hill Evans,
Yes.
Representative Boyd, Representative Brennan, Representative Gergely,
Yes designation.
Representative Genst, Representative Howard,
Yes.
Representative Kenyatta,
Yes designation.
Representative Probst,
Yes designation.
Representative Sanchez, Representative Schusterman,
Yes designation.
Representative Siegel, Representative Waxman, Representative Webster,
Yes designation.
Representative Young, Chairman Roy,
Yes.
Representative Bonta, Representative Barton,
Yes by designation.
Representative Bonner, Representative Devanzo,
Yes by designation.
Representative Fink,
Yes by designation.
Representative Kiefer, Representative Miller, Representative Schemmel,
Yes by designation.
Representative Schmidt,
Yes by designation.
Representative Stats. Bill passes unanimously.
There you go. All right. House Bill 1261 passes out of House State Government. Is there any further business to come before House State Government this morning? Hearing and seeing none, I move that this meeting be adjourned.